Mr. Speaker, I know that this has been a difficult topic as trying to nail down what we're talking about. I think everybody in this chamber wants to make sure that everyone is protected as far as basic human rights are concerned. The problem that I see with what we're presenting here is that we're asking for one definition of an employee under the Human Rights Act, and under the Wage Act, domestic workers are still excluded. I decided to look under domestic service as a definition so that I could get a better handle on this. Now, in the wage statute that excludes domestic workers, it specifically says, except for any individual in domestic service employment as defined in the Fair Labor Standards Act. So I decided that I would look at the Fair Labor Standards Act. And the Fair Labor Standards Act includes companions, babysitters, cooks, waiters, maids, housekeepers, nannies, nurses, caretakers, handymen, gardeners, home health aides, personal care aides, and family chauffeurs. Now, we have heard a lot of conversation tonight about how domestic worker doesn't include the babysitter and domestic worker doesn't include any of a number of these categories. So I think that there's a fair confusion as to once you take domestic worker out of the statute, you're not putting in there that it doesn't include babysitters of a certain period of time, or it doesn't include somebody who cleans your house once every couple of weeks. The domestic worker, because it wasn't defined to begin with, now is leaving a very big loophole under the Human Rights Act as far as are babysitters included. Under the Federal Labor Act, they are. Are people who come in occasionally to clean your house included? Well, according to the Federal Labor Act, they are, but according to what we were hearing tonight, they aren't. I think that this bill is a very good attempt at doing something very, very good, but it's confusing as to who is covered under it now. It's also confusing to employers who are going to have someone who is defined as an employee under the Human Rights Act, but probably isn't defined as an employee under the Minimum Wage Act. So I applaud the efforts for everyone. I think this is a wonderful thing that we're working towards, but I think that for laws to be effective, they have to be clear. And I do not believe that this law as presented is clear. So thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Representative.